Hey students, um, I know that we all have some time off right now and we're going to be doing some learning from home and some teaching from home. So I wanted to share with you guys um, a little bit of learning that we could do that's based around trees and really all plants. So I have a book that I got out from the library. It's right here. It's called Can You Hear the Trees Talking? Um, and inside this book, you're able to learn about all sorts of different parts of the trees and their functions and how they act with each other. So I thought that we could put together a few short lessons based on some of the parts of this book. Now, we got chapter 1 here, and I can read a little bit of this book just to get us started. It says, How Trees Work. A tree has a huge body, and just like yours, that body is made up of many different parts. It has structures that are similar to your skeleton, blood vessels, and skin. But what does it do, say, when it wants to take a breath of air or a drink of water? And how do trees grow to be so big anyways? So this very first section I thought was really interesting. It's called How Do Trees Breathe? I'm going to read a little bit of this section and then we're going to do a short activity that helps us to explore that topic. So I'll get started. How do trees breathe? Leaves are very important to trees because trees use their leaves to make their food. When trees are hungry, and they're always hungry, they just hold their leaves up to the light. Leaves mix water with certain parts of the air to make sugar. To do that, they need energy, and they get this energy from light. And this is something that we've talked about in garden before. Wait a minute. Leaves use air? Does this mean they can breathe just like you? Yes. Leaves breathe in and out through their mouths, which they can open and shut. These mouths even have lips just like yours. But there's one big difference. A tree doesn't just have one mouth. It has thousands. And here, if you look carefully, see if I can get that for the camera. It says, this is what tree mouths look like under a microscope. So if we're able to zoom in very, very closely with some fancy equipment to the underside of a leaf, this is what we would see. And you can even see these little mouths that are for breathing. And if you use your imagination a little bit, and if I kind of turn it this way, you can almost see that these are like little mouths with the lips. So pretty cool. All right, let's see. A tree doesn't just have one mouth, it has thousands. They are all very tiny and they're located on the undersides of the leaves. When it's very hot and dry, trees close their mouths because they lose lots of water when they breathe, just like you do. You can see this if you breathe on a window pane. The moisture from your breath will fog the glass. There's a little intro to how do trees breathe. And we're now going to do a short experiment that's going to involve some observation, some drawing, some going outside that can help us to understand a little bit better and to look at trees breathing and really all plants breathing. Okay. So this is what you're going to need in order for us to do our breathing tree activity. I've got a blank piece of paper. I've got a pencil that I'm going to use to draw with. I've got a bowl here, and inside of that bowl is water. Now for the water, it needs to be lukewarm, which means not super hot, not super cold. And then I've got a leaf. So our activity is going to be looking at how it is that trees, or really any plants, are able to breathe. The first thing that we need to do is we need to get a nice fresh leaf. Now this leaf that I got is from an orange tree. It's been picked off the orange tree. Now normally I don't want you guys going around picking leaves off of random trees, but for our little experiment here it is necessary to do. Now this leaf is still alive because it's been picked off the tree so recently. You cannot use a leaf that you find on the ground. These leaves are kind of dried up and dead. They're no longer breathing. So we've got our fresh leaf and we've got here our bowl of lukewarm water. I'm going to take the leaf and I'm going to put it inside the bowl of water. Now I'm going to put it so that the vein is facing up. If you take a look at your leaf, you'll see one side's kind of the shiny top, the other side's usually a little more dull. It's the underside, and it's got that big vein. So I'm going to put the underside facing up, and I'm really going to make sure that it's submerged in that water. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now I've got my piece of paper here, and I'm going to divide my paper in half. I'll draw a little line, and on the top part, I'm going to write before, and below that, I'm going to write after. And this is just to split up the two pictures that I'm going to be drawing. So as I draw what I see here, which is what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to make sure that I make it a real scientific drawing. And this is also something that we've talked about in our garden class. So with a scientific drawing, we're not just drawing a symbol. We're not just drawing a picture of what our imagination thinks a leaf looks like. We're looking at the actual leaf that we have in front of us. So that means, and I'm not actually going to go through and draw it all because that would get kind of boring, but it means I'm going to draw the bowl, and then inside that bowl I'm going to draw what the leaf looks like, and I'm really going to examine that leaf carefully. I'm going to draw the shape of it as it really looks to me. I'm going to draw the veins that I see. I'm going to draw anything that I notice on that leaf, and that's all going to go in the before section. At this point, I want you guys to pause this video and make your own scientific drawing that is the before drawing, so it's on the top of your page. You're really carefully observing the leaf and drawing exactly what you see. So you can go ahead and do that now. So I've now drawn our scientific drawing here, and remember, I'm not just drawing a symbol of a leaf or what my mind thinks a leaf looks like. I really looked carefully at the leaf to see what it looked like, and here's my drawing. It shows that big old vein that I talked about coming through the underside, and I noticed all these little lines coming off the vein. So I made sure to draw that, and I put kind of a little circle that's the bowl. So now we're at the part of the experiment where we just wait. So we're actually going to leave our bowl with the water and our leaf in the sun, and we're going to leave it there for 2 hours, and then we're going to come back and observe any changes that we notice. You guys are going to pause the video and you're going to take a 2-hour break. After 2 hours, you're going to go back out. You're going to take a look at your leaf, and in the after section of your piece of paper, you're going to do another scientific drawing of everything you notice, making sure again that it's not just a symbol. It's you're really drawing what you see with the leaf and anything that you may notice on the leaf. So I'll see you back here in about a couple hours. So we're back a couple hours later, and here's our leaf in the bowl. You may notice that I've added a little stone to the leaf. That's because when I came to check the experiment a little while ago, I noticed that the leaf had floated up. So I wanted to put that rock to make sure it stays down. Now the other thing you may notice is that there is a couple of little air bubbles. That's kind of the biggest one right there. So on my after drawing, I drew the rock because of course I've added the rock. I tried to draw it as accurately as I could. And I added the little air bubbles that I found on my leaf. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little lesson and the little activity, and that you now have a better idea of the fact that trees do actually breathe, and that you guys have actually gotten to see trees breathing through their leaves and letting out little bubbles of air or oxygen. So, tell a parent, mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, share with them what you've learned. Stay excited, and I'll see you next time.